Hi, I'm Larry McRae with Poison Spyder. I'm standing in front of our latest build. This one was commissioned by a customer of ours in Russia. He had very specific wants and needs for his build. He wanted to be able to go overland. He wanted to be able to go explore, but he also wanted to be able to tackle some of the harder trails in Russia. So we came up with a package that he really liked, and we put it together. And I'll go over some of those features with you. So for this build, he spec'd the Brawler series of armor. So we're starting back here with the rear Brawler tire carrier. It's got all the things he wanted for his particular build and more. It's got the recovery points for the D-ring mounts. It's got the backup lights. It's got the bracket to mount his high lift jack. And also back here you'll notice he's got the diff covers, the bombshell diff covers front and rear. And you might be able to see the Fox 2.0 aluminum bodied remote reservoired shocks. This will give him a great ride, allow him to add weight to this for his adventures and still have a great ride. And also you might have noticed he's got the rock crawler mid-arm kit, which is a 3.5-inch lift. Again, spec'd for the ability to put a load in this thing and take it on long journeys without any worries about maintenance or failures or overloading the system. So great choice for this particular build. You can also tell back here that we've done something different with the top. He spec'd a white on white for this build, so we've painted the hardtop white. Also painted part of the body armor on the Brawler rockers white, and you might be able to see back here that he's got our crusher flares and crusher corners, which also are body matched or painted white. Kind of a really clean look. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I think his specs were great for this particular build and look really good on this. We'll walk around to the side and kind of show you some of the other stuff we've done on this Jeep. You also notice that he picked the BFG KM2s for this particular build. Great tread, great overall all-around tire, great on the street, great off-road. And he also spec'd the beadlock wheel, so we use this trail ready HD wheel. He wanted to be able to put, again, a large load on this rig and be able to air down without worries of blowing a bead. So a beadlock was a very smart choice for the type of use that he plans on taking this thing through. Also, you'll notice the rack. This is one of the things he specifically requested. He liked the one that we did for Ricky Rocket. That was kind of a prototype. We don't have a production rack. This is kind of a version 2 of that same rack, and there might be something by version 3 that might actually go into production. So still kind of working our way through the rack build. Turned out great. A lot of things that I like about this rack. We want to figure out a way to make it easy to produce. Not that we're going to change the function at all, just want to make it a little easier to produce so that we can put these on the market and keep a reasonable price on them. But you'll notice he's got rigid lights all the way around. He's got a full rigid light package. And one of the things he really liked about the Ricky Rocket rack was that it had lights on either side. So when you're setting up camp, or if you're driving through the bush, you can turn the side lights on or the back light on or all the front lights on, and everything around you is illuminated. So it's a pretty cool feature. They're all adjustable, so you can go in or out or up or down. Should be great for setting up camp, should be great for exploring at night. He also wanted a Poison Spyder package, a wrap package, and Dusty designed something really cool. It's pretty subtle, not too over the top, but it'll give us great representation in Russia, and I think he was very happy with the pictures we sent him so far. I mentioned we had the crusher flares and crusher corners on it. We went with the full width flares, just so he had the great tire coverage in case he's out in the mud, but still had all the armor and protection he needs for rubbing against the canyon walls or the rocks. Also has our evap skid on this rig, just because it's so vulnerable. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you crush that evap skid, it could be the end of your day. Sometimes these things, when the evap is crushed, the car will no longer run. So pretty important part to have on the car for somebody that goes overland or off-road for quite a bit. Also, you'll notice that we have the cage in here. The cage is, of course, a pretty basic safety feature that should be the first thing that everybody does when they build their Jeeps, and it tends to be the last, but he specifically asked for the cage. We're happy that he did. It's a bolt-together cage, pretty easy to install. It takes a few hours, but there's a lot of pieces that go together, but relatively easy compared to some of the stuff that's on the market now, and it's still gives you full function of your radio, full function of your AC system, and also makes it easy to get in and out. So all the things that most people have requested in a cage, plus the strength of 1 3/4 120 wall DOM. We mentioned the Brawler rockers earlier. We did a black powder coat on the lower half and a white body match on the upper half. Again, real subtle, kind of a cool look. So far from the pictures he's seen, he's real happy. I can't wait to hear a report from when he gets it back in Russia. And to complete the Brawler Armor package, he's got the Brawler light front bumper with the Brawler bar and plate gussets. He also has the Brawler light skid, which protects the sway bar disconnect motor. He has the recovery points, which is very important when you're out on the trail. And he also has an assortment of rigid lights. He's got a 10-inch light bracket for the rigid 10-inch. He's got the rigid adapter to put the D2s in his factory fog holes. And one of the things that's really important when you're out there by yourself or out gone for weeks is to have a self-recovery piece of equipment. And this Warren 9.5 CTIS is one of the best in the market. It's what I run on my Jeep. It's never going to let him down. He'll have years and years of use out of this without any issues. Also, I wanted to upgrade the lighting from the factory lights, and have used our truck light LEDs. Super bright as you can get on the street. I've got them in mine, of course, and Sherry's got them in hers. They're really, really nice lights. And again, in the front, he's got the diff cover, so that if he runs into a rock off-road, he doesn't have to worry about smashing his gears or worse, losing all the oil in his front differential. You may not be able to see it from here, but we've also trussed the front axle, and we've got C gussets on it, so shouldn't have any problems with this front end. Anything that might take him out when he's hundreds of miles off-road. Really great design, I think, on the or specs on this Jeep for what he wants to use. And of course, if you've got bead locks and you've aired your tires down, you need a way to air those back up or to repair a damaged tire on the trail. So he has spec'd an ARB, or dual ARB pumps, and we made a custom bracket that possibly is going to be a production part to mount that those ARB pumps up underneath the seat instead of under the hood. With two pumps, it's kind of hard to find a home for them that's not going to get affected by the weather or the heat from the engine. So we picked the spot under the seat here. It's still pretty easily accessible. It's switched off the S-Pod system. Like, I don't know if I mentioned that before, but it does have an S-Pod system to light up all the lights and operate all of his accessories, including this dual ARB pump. Really cool location for this, really cool part. Hopefully that'll be another one of these part numbers that you'll see developed off of this Jeep. One of the things that we don't use here much in the Southwest, but apparently is very important to our customer in Russia, is the Snorkel. One of my fears with the Snorkel was that it was going to block some of your visibility, and from where I'm sitting you can't see that Snorkel at all. And it's a very clean installation. It's an AEV Snorkel kit. Installs easy, looks good on the Jeep, doesn't block any of your visibility. Really smart design. I hope you enjoyed this walk around of our White Russian build. We really had a good time building it. Developed maybe a couple new part numbers off of it. It seems like a pretty fun Jeep. I think I'm gonna go fire it up, listen to this MagnaFlow exhaust, and see how it does. I want to give it a little shakedown before it goes on the boat. Thanks for watching.